Hello, everybody on video. How are you? We're going to fire up the radio right now and we're going to get going here with the show. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And away we go. We're live on the radio, John. We got the other microphones.
Très bien, bonjour.
Everything's
Ça
hot.
va bien?
Everything's hot. Everything's hot. Showed.
Hot.
Showed.
Great show.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to get it right this week.
What is today? What are we doing?
Welcome to HABSOLUTELY.
Absolutely. This is the 101st show.
101st show. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And what better day could it be? The opening of the season for L'Équipe de Canadienne.
Yeah,
in the Bell Center, nice. At home.
Against those dreaded Maple Loafs.
I wouldn't call them dreaded, but...
well, we don't like them very much.
Shredded, maybe.
We don't. Well, that's what we hope we do. But we don't like them. Anyway, here we are on Wednesday, as usual, with HABSOLUTELY, the first night, opening night of hockey season. It doesn't get more exciting than that.
How exciting is it, really? I mean, we've been waiting for this day. It's like, this is Christmas, right? You know, we've been waiting for so long for the season to begin again, and here we are.
Yeah, oh boy. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm cautiously optimistic about how things are going to turn out.
That's a little different tone than I heard a couple of weeks ago.
Well, yeah, I told you I went from being a wild card place guy to a great draft pick guy.
Yes.
Which I'm sorry to say, it shouldn't be like that, but after that preseason, I've lost my mojo as far as the way the Habs are going to perform this year. But we're going to go through all that.
Yeah, I kind of think a few people are with you on that one.
I think so.
And I don't mean all you fans out there, no disrespect, but I kind of think a few people in the Montreal head office are thinking like that as well.
Well, we didn't do that great in the preseason, and we lost Laine. And now the bottom lines are all jumbled up because they're trying to figure out who to put on that second line. And things have really been skewed ever since that loss of Laine. And then we lost 4 games in a row. There were 0 for 32 on the power play.
There's a number I like.
Our first line didn't perform against prospects. It's hard to have a lot of optimism going into this game tonight with the Leafs.
Indeed, yet there are a lot of things to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm going to make some popcorn.
And I can't wait to see how Lane Hudson performs.
Well, Lane Hudson is going to be worth the dime to watch the game. Believe me, he's going to get out there. But that's great to watch him. But it's not a one-man team. We got to get performance from our power play. We got to get performance from our blue line. We got to get performance from our penalty kill.
Well, Lane Hudson will be doing all those things. He'll be doing power play. He'll be on the blue line some of the time, because most of the time he'll be in the forward zone.
He'll be all right.
And he'll be probably doing PK as well.
Yeah, and he'll probably get caught a few times being up, because that's, when you play that, you're going to get caught. And luckily, Savard's with him. And we're going to go through the lineups too, the starting lineup tonight. But when you all think about it, and then you got Sammy Montembeault giving us a game and a half against the Leafs. We know the Leafs are going to score goals. We know there's going to be a lot of penalties in this game.
You think so?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of penalties in this game. And it's going to be a slobber knocker tonight. And just like the other 2-1 games we lost, where it's not going to be easy. They've got a first line that can score, and is on the ice healthy. Ours hasn't proven that yet, so not this year anyway. And really not last year. I'm considering we came in 28th. Call me crazy. So we have a lot of expectations and a lot of things that need to go right once the season starts, because we sure didn't see it in the preseason. And not that I'm saying they can't go right. We do have guys that can put the puck in the net. We do have a good defense, a decent defense that hit and run, and they can pass and score. Active defense, which I like, right?
Absolutely.
But man, oh man, nothing's been proven to me yet. Last place, 28th in the last 3 years. 0 for 32 on the power play.
That's an exhibition.
And just, I know, but, Marty, don't worry about it. That's okay, Marty. Okay, Marty, but you know what? If you have a crappy start in this season, I think Marty could be the problem.
Whoa!
And I'm seeing that before the season even starts. And this was the guy 3 weeks ago who thought we had a wild card shot.
Is Paul Calamere in the building? If he is, could he please come to the booth?
As you can tell, I'm not feeling very, very good about the Montreal Canadiens right now.
I'm having a hard time recognizing you by what you're saying.
Well, I hope brings eternal. What is it? Hope springs eternal, or hope
springs? I believe.
Hope springs eternal.
It's the fall, but it's the fall,
but
or as they say in England, autumn.
Some guy says, "Who are you, Debbie Downer?" on the internet, and I said, "No, I'm Rick Reality, Tommy Truth."
Tommy Truth.
Yes. So anyway,
okay. But before we go any further, aren't we going to go and do our favorite part of the show, or like the very beginning, like what we love to do?
Where does everything start?
It starts with Habs trivia.
At the beginning with Habs trivia. Now, this is an interesting trivia because it's a trivia, but it's going to be in another form today.
Wow! Do I take my pants off?
You can if you want.
Okay.
Go ahead. We have viewers. They'd like to see that, I'm sure. Not. But it's it's in the form today of a Who Am I?
Who am I? I was just going through that with what you were saying. I was like, who's this dude talking so negatively who's been telling me a couple of months ago that we're making the playoffs? I was like, I was like, is he doing Who Am I?
Okay, Who Am I? Okay. I played my whole career with the Habs from the 1955-56 season to the 1969-70 season.
Pocket? Rocket.
No. Okay. But he did. I played right wing for the Canadiens.
Right wing, and he played all that time.
Oui, mon ami.
Well, it's not Jeffrey, and we know that.
I have won 9 Stanley Cups with the team and was the first ever Bill Masterson Trophy winner in the league. Anybody out there got it yet?
Wow, that's very impressive. It's not Lemaire because he's a center.
Anybody out there got it yet? John hasn't got it yet, but we got some more clues here.
Okay.
This is like the game of Clue. Colonel Mustard in the library with a knife. I am the only person who has won 9 Stanley Cups, but am not in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
J.C. Tremblay.
Not yet.
No. It's not J.C. Tremblay because he's a defenseman.
You just can't think of the name. I hold the record for the fastest goal in a period. 4 seconds.
Wow. I don't know why. I mean, it's not Ralph Backstrom. It's not like the Boomer. I'm thinking Jean-Guy Thibault. No, it's.
I participated in 11 All-Star games.
Not Phil Goyette. It's not Roger Bear. Gee, it's driving me crazy now. I mean, it's like an amazing player.
Okay, let me give me 4 names.
Okay.
And see if you can.
That'll help. That'll help big time.
And you have 2 caller friends.
Beautiful.
Okay, here's the choices.
Drew Deeks is working though.
Yeah, Drew Deeks might know this. Bobby Rousseau.
Gee, I'd love to think it was Bobby Rousseau.
Phil Goyette.
I don't know. He got traded to New York.
Jean-Guy Talbot.
We talked about Jean-Guy at one point, and everybody said he played defense, but I always thought he was a winger.
And Claude Provo.
It's got to be Claude Provo.
Yep, that's it. Claude Provo, that's him.
That's
Who am I? I am Claude Provo. And I just cannot, when I was doing this, I'll tell you the reason I did this. Right? Somebody on Facebook, we were talking in a Habs thing, and they mentioned a guy named Prevo. Prevost. And I'm going,
Sounds like somebody who makes
I'm going,
confectionery stuff or
yeah,
whatever.
do you mean like Marcel Pronovost?
Marcel
Right.
Pronovost, who played for the Detroit Red Wings
And the
Toronto Maple Leafs, but he
right.
was with Detroit first.
So
great
he
defenseman, I
says,
believe.
no, Prevost. And I'm going, Prevost? And I said, you mean Claude Provost? And he said, yeah, that's the guy.
He said, mais
oui. And then so I started looking it up, and I go, holy crap, this guy's not in the Hall of Fame.
What number was Provost? Do you know offhand? Is it like
11 or
in your
something?
notes?
Was it 11?
No,
Claude
I
Provost?
don't know. I have to look it up. I guess like 18 or something like that, but it's a wild guess.
Yeah, I can't remember his exact.
Anyway,
you have to look that one up on your thing there. I don't
Claude Provost. So,
maybe five, number 5?
No, because that's Boom.
That was Boom Boom Jeffrey.
But Claude Provost, you always had great respect for him, but he'd be like third, fourth line.
Yeah, he flew kind of under the radar.
And he did a lot of heavy work. He did a lot of the lifting, if you know what I mean.
He was like the Dickie Moore of the lower lines.
He'd go into the corners. He'd take all the bumps and bruises. He'd dig out the puck. He did the heavy lifting.
Yeah, for those lines. And he kind of flew under the radar, like when you talk about a guy like Dickie Moore, we had the Belleville Richard and then Dickie Moore.
And Claude Provost, no disrespect to Claude, but he probably wasn't considered the most handsome of all the Montreal Canadiens.
No.
So when you're taking pictures of the Habs or you're doing interviews on TV, et cetera, you're going to the personalities, the Gros Bill. You want to comment from him. You want to comment from Henri. You want to comment from all these, the goaltender. You're going to go talk to the Gumper. You're going to talk to Jacques Leperriere. And then before you know it, I don't need any more interviews. I'm done.
Well, especially when you get to the Habs. In those days when he played, there were so many stars.
Claude Provost, too, probably did PK. He probably did the penalty kill because it was not a glamorous job. The glamour job, of course, is putting the puck in the net.
That's it.
So, you're out there blocking shots, and you're really blocking shots. And think about this. So the other day, I think PK Subban was tooling around with Cole Caulfield, and they were trying to see who has the fastest slap shot. I think PK beat Caulfield by actually a couple of miles. I think it was like 108 to 106, something like that, 107 to 105.
Kilometers.
But think about the fact that Bobby Hull's slap shot was probably like between 90 and 100 easily.
Oh, maybe over 100.
And Claude's out there with no equipment like there is today. Consider that. And that's what I mean. He did the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and I was amazed that when I started looking it up and that he wasn't in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And I know a lot of people have been talking about, him getting into the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And he isn't.
I think the reason there are these Canadians who have these remarkable careers when we consider them. But again, from we'll call it the golden era of hockey, the original 6. So there's only 6 teams. They kind of get lost in that shuffle because it's like, okay, there's 20 players on the Montreal Canadiens, and 10 of them are in the Hall of Fame. So we can't put any more. And I think they get shuffled off to, as they say, Buffalo.
Oh yeah, and that's it. When you have a team that's full of stars that won 5 Stanley Cups in a row, I mean, you got to really be something to be a standout. And sure, you've got 9 Stanley Cups with them, but this guy he just wasn't the Stanley Cup guy. 11 All-Star games. So this guy played right wing for the Canadiens. So
number 14.
Number 14. That's right, Claude Provost. So yeah, so I mean, there you go. So if there's ever a case for a Montreal Canadian to be in the Hall of Fame, it's
I don't know if people could see that. There's a picture of Claude Provost up. I don't know if it's capturing it, but
it's probably too much reflection.
You can see that picture.
Yeah, he looks great.
You can see he kind of looks like Herman Munster.
Yeah, he's
he's got that Herman Munster look.
Yeah, and he's got
definitely would scare other opposition players. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, there you go.
He'd be a great guy to bring with you on Halloween.
He would. And a great guy.
But a great guy nonetheless.
To have on your team.
No disrespect to Claude Provost.
Speaking of original 6, what's with this jersey here?
This is not an original 6 jersey, but it is a jersey from 1972, I believe.
Yes.
I believe we went to a store called Doug Laurie Sports
in Toronto
at Maple Leaf Gardens.
In Maple Leaf Gardens.
And we each bought a Montreal Canadiens jersey. I believe you bought Jacques Lemaire's.
Yes.
And I bought Ken Dryden's. And it is 52 years old.
There you go. Stand up. Show us
a 52-year-old Montreal Canadian jersey.
Yep, number 29 on the sleeve.
You know, it's funny. You sent me a picture the other day.
Live radio, folks. Live radio, live video.
You sent me a picture the other day of 4 Canadian goaltenders. And it was interesting because they had their, what are called TV numbers, right here on the blue, on the arm.
Oh, rather than on the...
And later on, and I can't remember what year, but they decided to move those numbers above the blue and white band on the Canadiens jersey. So that's significant as well. That's why you can kind of time encapsulate certain jerseys. You know?
And that's a really neat jersey. We didn't pay a lot for him at Doug Laurie Sports Shop back in the day. It might have been $13, $15 or so.
No, I bet you we paid close to $20, which would have bought you a pair of Adidas Olympiad shoes at the time.
Yep.
And for us, that was chunk change then.
And this was before people wore jerseys around. You didn't see a lot of people other than people who went to the Montreal games maybe had a jersey.
Very few people even at the Montreal games were wearing jerseys. The guy who blew the horn, da-da-da-da-da-da, he wore a jersey. Those type of people who were really like very passionate fans. But you went to the game.
Went to New Jersey.
After you had gone to dinner, after you had finished work. And the games were starting at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and if you notice at the games in the crowd, most people are wearing suits and ties and a hat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they weren't wearing sweaters. That's almost a modern day thing.
And the sweater became a very hip thing because, you know, back then we were coming of our age, we'll call it. We had finished high school. We were going to university. We were listening to lots of great pop music, but it wasn't pop. It was like rock music. It was FM driven rock music. And I remember seeing a band called the Guess Who from Canada. And one of the members of that band wearing a Montreal Canadiens sweater in a band photo on the cover, I think, of their Greatest Hits Volume 2. And going, hey, that's pretty cool. Guys are wearing jerseys like out now when they go out, not just when they go on the ice. They're wearing them out to the bars, you know, just doing daily routines, you know. And so we said, and of course we're going to school, so it was like a perfect time to wear a hockey jersey to a class in university.
Yeah, and nobody else was doing it,
you know. And if you can see here on my number, there's a little black mark, and that's from a puck. Because I would wear this jersey on occasion when I played goal, and the puck would leave a rubber mark if you got hit
by the G's.
So it's and of course I'll turn around because it's got that great number
29 on the back.
You know, the infamous.
Yep, Ken Dryden.
The magnificent.
Yes. So there you go. A little history on that jersey.
Maybe the most important goalie in the history of the Montreal Canadiens.
I'd say he was up there with Jacques Plante.
He's definitely up there. But I mean, just the fact that the way he came into the NHL, you know, like out of nowhere, and then commanded those 2 series against Boston and Chicago to bring us the cup in 1971 was just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, here we are watching, and here's this tall, lanky guy coming into goal, leaning on his goalie stick. So cool. Everybody started doing that when you played ball hockey.
Absolutely. And not only that, I mean, you know, Dryden's playing and his pads look a little short for his height and stature. He's wearing like gloves that are not like they're maybe a level down from the pro level. You know, he's got a mask that looks like it came from who knows where, you know, somebody's like the mummy's tomb. It's like he doesn't look like he is like pro, but he played like nobody could touch him.
Like, not only did he win Stanley Cups, he only played 9 years or something. Won 4 or 5 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
But the thing with him is that leaning on the stick. If you remember, that became anybody who played hockey. Anybody, I don't care what team you went for. When you were playing goal, you would lean on the stick.
Well,
that became like
it's an iconic pose.
It's an iconic pose,
without a doubt. But I mean, what I remember are Dryden's reflexes, and I can see him, right in front of me. Jim Pappin, right in front of the net with the puck, point blank. Pappin goes to put the puck to, I believe, Dryden's right, and Dryden kicks his foot out and stops the puck. I mean, total reflex.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. Okay, so down memory road, we could spend 3 hours sitting here down memory road, but we got to move on to the present year here. And let's take a look at this starting roster.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here we go. And we can comment on any of it you want as we go. It's going to be an open comment here. CC, Susie, and Slavkovsky. First line, same as last year, the first line. I have nothing to say about it other than
here's what I have to say.
They better score some goals.
That's that's it in a nutshell. Perform. First line must perform. No doubt about it. That's exactly what we're expecting from this first line is brilliance and performance.
And let's see if they deliver.
Absolutely.
I expect them to. They have before, so I don't see why they wouldn't. They have one more year under their belt.
Yeah, I think we have every reason to be encouraged that they will be successful this year, more so than last year.
Right. Now we move to the second line. Newhook, Doc, and a curveball thrown by Marty St. Louis, Armia.
And I mean, obviously, everyone was looking forward to this line to see Doc and Lanny perform with Newhook. Because Doc and Lanny have never played with the team, really. I mean, Kirby's played a few games, but, I mean, minimal. So, and Newhook as well was injured last year. So, we were all excited about seeing this second line and how they would match up. In fact, many out there were thinking that they could outperform the first line, possibly.
I did.
I know, you said it. And so now we have two that line left and a guy named Joel Armia. 2 years ago, I mean, people were sticking Joel Armia in the garbage can.
Yes.
And last year, Joel Armia played, I think, a very solid year for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, well, he was thrown on waivers, got sent down to Laval, came back, and he really performed well. I mean, he found his niche. Whatever happened, he got his mojo back in Laval, and away he goes. And, I don't have any problem with this choice.
I think it's a great choice because, you know what? Joel Armia worked really hard last year. He took all the lumps and bumps and never said boo. And so now he's gained this opportunity. Again, it's like, show me, don't tell me. You've got it. You've got this opportunity. Be thankful for it. It's Thanksgiving. It's an early Thanksgiving present to Joel Armia.
And make the most of it.
And make the best of it. Exactly.
Well, I'm not too worried about it, and I'll tell you why. I don't mind this choice at all. Because what's going to happen is it's going to be the person who has the most chemistry with these other two players. So Armia's there right now. I thought it might be Kapanen or Anderson or somebody like that. But
yeah, and Anderson's a good consideration.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be about performance like line one. Line two is going to be performance. If Armia can blend with Newhook and Doc, keep up and put the puck in the net, then he's going to have a spot.
And you know what? I think Anderson would have been the wise choice and the choice if he had a successful year last year.
Yeah.
But I think you have, as a coach, you need to reward players who are contributing. And you need to establish that habit so that people understand that they have to go out and do things.
Right. And
to reap benefits.
And it's not working. I mean, they will jam Anderson in there.
You'll know in 10 games.
Yeah, or Kapanen or somebody. Yeah, so I mean,
I think you'll know in 10 games.
Yeah, that position is very fluid. I mean, anybody can move in there if Armia and it's not that Armia might not be good. It's like he might not have chemistry with these two guys. People have chemistry with each other, right?
Absolutely. I try to have chemistry with my wife.
Well, that's a good thing because the opposite isn't that good. But like we have chemistry in here.
Absolutely.
And when Drew Deeks come in, we have chemistry with Drew too. We love having him in here. Unfortunately, he can't make it, but yeah. So it's that chemistry where you get everybody together and having a good time and playing hockey, scoring goals, and making making your mark on the NHL. So if he doesn't have that, then it'll be Anderson or it'll be Kapanen or Heineman or somebody else will step in.
Someone else, and it could be Anderson, yeah.
Could be Anderson, and they'll find chemistry. But for now, I'm happy with that Armia up there. I think he had a great finals to his season last year. He really picked it up. I don't know did he make 20 goals?
I don't recall, 19. But I like I say, I think it's a great choice.
And me too. Now the third line kind of surprises me. We got ABB, Boulay, Barra-Boulay, Dvorak, and Anderson. So
Alex Barre-Boulay.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Alex Barre-Boulay. We're going to call him ABB. ABB. So ABB,
Dvorak, and Anderson.
Dvorak, who a lot of people think will be moved at one point.
Yep, and Anderson.
Who we really are looking forward to having a comeback season.
Yeah, like he's been so snake bit the last 2 years. It's not like he's not trying. He gets shots on goal. He gets chances, but for some bizarre reason, the puck just won't go in the net for him. Hopefully this year it does. This could be his year.
This could be maybe the most important line on the ice for the Montreal Canadiens.
You're absolutely right because if these two lines perform the top two, and then we have a third line that can perform, we got a killer team.
Exactly. And Dvorak, here's his opportunity to remain with the team for a few more years. Anderson as well. ABB, I think, is the highlight of the training season.
Him and even Dvorak. I mean, Dvorak got a couple goals. He looked good in training camp.
But who is this? Who is this Alex? Alex Barre-Boulay. Who is this?
Who is this guy?
Who is this man?
Who am I?
Well,
Who's that guy? I don't know who anybody is.
Alex is 27 years old, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's from Montmagny, Quebec. And he's been in the NHL. He's played for Tampa Bay mostly.
Mm-hmm. He was up last year. Did he go up for a few games last year?
He was drafted. He wasn't drafted.
No?
He was never drafted. He signed as a free agent to Tampa Bay.
Oh.
So here's a guy he's worked hard his entire NHL career. He's had to go knock at the door and get everything that he has. He's earned it all. And now he's earned a spot opening night with the Montreal Canadiens from going through training camp. I mean, I have to respect that. Like, that's just amazing. That's just fabulous.
Well, I mean, not only do you respect it, Hughes and Marty St. Louis respect that because they put him there.
And that's what I'm saying.
That says a lot.
It says an incredible amount that a guy who never got drafted in the NHL is starting tonight for the Montreal Canadiens, 27 years old. So I think ABB is the surprise of the training camp because at the beginning of, even in June, right after the prospects, or right after the draft, none of us were talking about ABB. Even though he got signed on July 1st, none of us were talking about him.
Nah, he was right off my radar.
Exactly. All through the last couple of months, we've been talking about, is Owen Beck going to make the team? Is Lane Hudson going to make the team? Is Reinbacher going to be on the team? Is Mailloux going to be on the team? Nobody's talking about ABB.
No.
And ABB is not only on the team, but he's on the third line, not the fourth line. He's not sitting in the press box tonight.
Nope.
He's starting. And as well, I believe he's on the second PP.
And when you think about this, right? I mean, tonight's going to be a slobber knocker against Toronto, and Kapanen and Pizzetta are sitting out, and ABB is in. So you got to have respect for the guy.
Total respect. And he could be the big surprise of this particular team.
Yeah, and of that line. I mean, if this line clicks, seriously, folks.
And once again, here's a guy now who has obviously worked hard to be where he is, because MSL is not going to give it to him for nothing. So now here he is starting, and we know the kind of work ethic he has because he's brought it to make his way into the NHL. Like, not getting drafted and being on a professional hockey team when you're 27 says an awful lot about your what's the word I want? Your conviction.
Conviction.
And so
persistence.
Exactly. And so I can't wait to see what ABB is going to deliver, because I think he knows he's got to be there like every minute of every game. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. I'm wishing him the best success.
Yeah, and tonight it's going to be important that these other lines give us a little bit of performance, because, we don't want Leafs shutting down our first line and then having nothing, because they're going to be bringing it tonight. So we want that third line to perform, and our fourth line.
Hey, look, there goes Claude Provo. There goes Claude Provo.
There he is. We just had Claude Provo walk right down the street. Looked like him too.
So that is Suzuki's number, right?
Yes.
So Suzuki now is 14. We just had a guy wearing a Suzuki sweater walk down the street.
On the day that the Habs are starting, and we're doing a Claude Provo, Who Am I?
In beautiful downtown Niagara Falls.
There you go.
Across from the crater.
Across from the Kim crater.
So how does that work?
That's destiny.
That's synergy.
That's synergy.
Seems to me it's chemistry.
It's coming together.
That is chemistry. That is a sign. That is a sign.
What are the odds of a guy walking down the street at 14 when we did a Who Am I with Claude Provo?
Unbelievable.
See how things work here, ladies and gentlemen? See how things work, Habs fans? It all comes together on the show here.
I'm getting more excited. I'm really that's like a sign.
I wish
that is a sign. Yeah, I wish we could have
turned the camera.
Oh, yeah. I we see a lot of, you make comments about things, people going by. There's a Habs fan, there's a, but that really struck me.
What are the odds?
Like opening day.
Yeah, that's
We're talking about Claude Provo. I look up the number. It's 14. Guy walks down the street in Nowheresville.
Yeah.
Okay, I love Niagara Falls, but we are really in nowhere land right now. And he's walking down the street with a Montreal Canadiens jersey on with the number 14. If we see another 3 people go by our window in the next 30 minutes, that'll be, we could bet on that, what were the odds? What would we make some money?
We would have made some money.
Wow.
Okay, our fourth line, Galley, Evans, and Heineman. Now, I don't mind this line neither. I like Evans. I always have. Galley, he's going to be a pest and in there bugging everybody. And Heineman showed some real speed and some real talent in preseason. So these three together, they might decide to do something.
I like the idea of having an ABB and a Heineman on 2 lines with older guys. And I think they're actually going to drive them a little bit. I really do, because they're definitely going to have their speed. They're going to be at the top of their A game as far as speed goes. The other guys are going to bring a lot of knowledge and
work ethic,
and that's going to be important to help the younger guys. Gallagher now, he's probably lost a step, but he has better hockey sense than he did when he began. So he ain't going to chase the puck for no reason anymore. He's going to be smarter around the net with the puck and making good decisions. And Gallagher, of course, too, is coming off as well as Anderson. They're both coming off big off seasons.
Big off seasons.
They both got married.
Oh, they go. Yeah,
they both got married.
That's gonna ruin.
They're gonna be juiced.
They're gonna be ruined.
No, man. They're gonna be like, yeah, this is like great.
That just ruined it for me. I mean, I don't. Now I have even less. That ruined the whole show for me. Right there. Oh man. But you know what I like about this is, Galley's going to give 100% always, and Evans is giving 100%. That's their nature. That's what they do. And Heineman, he's going to see that, and he's going to give 100%.
Well,
so this line could surprise too.
Heineman again. Did we expect Heineman to be on this team?
No.
3 months ago.
Well, I was hoping they'd get rid of a couple guys here.
Yes.
So, yes, but they didn't. So they're on it. But Heineman made the cut. And you got to think, Kapanen had a heck of a preseason as well. So
I mean, like,
he's not here.
Like,
he'll be in tomorrow.
I don't see Joshua Waugh's name here.
Well, Joshua Waugh.
And if Joshua Waugh's name had been here,
he went to the train station.
Then ABB and Heineman, one of their names might not have been here.
Yeah, for sure.
For damn sure.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, I think that you had Heineman and Kapanen, and Pizzetta might have been the odd man out.
So, but you know what? I got no problem having Pizzetta sitting in the box today.
No, and I have no problem having Pizzetta playing tomorrow when we play the Boston Bruins.
Absolutely.
And another slobber knocker on the road.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I don't mind this. I don't mind this lineup. Let me put it that way. I have no complaints.
Well, again, this lineup wouldn't be this lineup, obviously,
if Wawa had a better preseason.
If Lanny
didn't get hurt, that's another thing.
Didn't get hurt, and I think there's a lot of determination as to what do we do with guys like Joshua Waugh
and Sauce. Remember, he's out injured too.
He's injured, but Joshua Waugh could play today, and Joshua Waugh again is, I think, 22 maybe.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
He's a young guy. So, do we want him playing on the fourth line, getting 4 or 5 minutes? Maybe 7-8 minutes at the most a game? Do we want him sometimes sitting in the box when Pizzetta comes down? Or do we want him playing 12 minutes a game in Laval?
Yeah, well, see, this
because without Lanny, do we still feel as confident about making the playoffs this year?
No.
As we did a month ago.
Should I answer that? No.
Please do. Exactly. And I think the head office is starting to come to terms with it. I hope the fan base comes to terms with it and appreciates the fact that, yes, we're still on the road. We're still on the road to redemption, okay, to winning the Stanley Cup. But there's been a couple of obstacles on the road.
Yeah, and I think the same concern you mentioned about the 12 minutes or in Laval playing more time is the same concern they have for Kapanen too.
Absolutely.
Because they're talking about if they're not going to use him, sending him back to the Swiss League or wherever he came from, and getting the ice time, because getting no ice time, like sitting out tonight, that's no good for the guy. That's no good for his development. They don't want this to be a long-term thing, so they're going to try to figure out fast what they're going to do with everybody.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to, is giving prospects that you believe in time to develop. There's no sense like them being on a team that they don't play in.
Yeah, and
they don't get action.
And the same with Mayu. That's why he's not up. We thought exactly. We're going to go through the defense now. Matheson, Gooley, which that we knew that was going to happen.
Well, Matheson, of course, is going to be key this year again.
Yep, and Gooley too.
We need the performance that we got from Matheson last year, this year as well.
And Hudson Savard, well, I mean, we got the wheeler dealer with the stay-at-home guy, right? Savard,
well, here's the key with a guy like Hudson. If you're going to keep Hudson on this team, then employ him.
Yeah, but you got to let him go.
Let him. He's got to have minutes. So if Hudson's going to develop to be your number one defenseman in the team in 5 years that takes the Stanley Cup, he needs to play hockey this year, like minutes. So he needs to be on the power play. He needs to be playing full minutes at defense.
Yeah, regular
He
shift.
needs to be playing PK.
And he will. He'll play all.
So I'm really looking for. So again, Lane Hudson, Here's your opportunity. Go for it. I also think because we think this is one of those years that because we lost Lanny for so much time this year, that it's definitely a time to give. If we're going to onboard one player, let's onboard Hudson in the NHL this year. Let's give him all that ice time, and we're going to live with his mistakes.
Well, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
We're going to live with his mistakes because we know it's going to pay dividends for his advancement to his ceiling for the future of this team.
Yeah, I think when you look at the mistakes he's going to make versus what he brings to the table as far as offense and moving the puck and the power play, that kind of thing, I think you'll find that the good outweighs the bad, and he'll learn to deal with the bad.
I think that's why we decided to onboard him this way.
There he goes again.
So
there he goes,
Suzuki,
Claude Ruel,
Claude Provo. And so for this reason, I think it's a wise idea that whoever you brought in, they're getting ice time.
Yep. Jack-Eye Barron. Everybody was saying Jack-Eye might not play because of blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? No. Jack-Eye's making the team. He's the sheriff. He's got to keep things under control. And I don't think you'll see him being as much of a loose cannon once the season starts here.
Here's the deal with Jack-Eye.
He laid the deal down in preseason.
You know what? We gave Joel Armia 10 games to make the second line a few minutes ago. We're going to give Arbor Jack-Eye 10 minutes to stay on the defense. 10 minutes. We're going to give him 10 games to make the defense.
I want to give him more than 10 minutes, John.
We're going to give him 10 minutes for a misconduct.
Yeah, well, that might be there.
5 for fighting and 10 misconduct.
Oh, you know he's going to get in one tonight, right?
You know what? I don't believe Arbor Jack-Eye is going to act up tonight.
No, I don't think
I think Arbor Jack-Eye told everybody a few days ago, don't mess with us.
He did.
Good message. Great message. I think what Arbor Jack-Eye, though, has to do is not get stupid penalties.
Yeah, well, you know,
right? That will be the downfall of Arbor Jack-Eye. If he continues to get penalties that aren't good penalties, MSL is going to say, this isn't working for us.
Yeah, well, you know, Ryan Reeves is going to come out and challenge him right away. So we'll see if Jack-Eye takes up that challenge. I mean, I don't care if they both go off, but, you know, you don't want Jack-Eye, you know, getting a penalty and nobody else. He's got to, like you say, be smart.
You know what?
But he should just skate away from this big dummy anyway.
And think about this. Jack-Eye has minutes to play.
Yeah.
The guy that you mentioned, I don't even know who he is. I think, does he cut one of the Leafs coach's hair or something? I don't know.
Some blockhead from the Leafs.
But it's like
Jack-Eye took care of last year.
It's like, yeah, like he's worthless to the team, really.
Right.
So that's the whole concept about, you want to fight with somebody, fight with Austin Matthews, take him out when you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Not some
don't take a guy out who's not playing anyway. That's a waste of time.
That's the way to do it.
That's a waste of time.
And so Strubal's on the sidelines.
And I love Strubel.
Yeah, he's injured. He's going to be a force out there too. He is taking a rest day today, but he will be playing. And Barron, I'm not the biggest Barron guy. I'd rather see Mayu in there than Barron. But you know what? Barron's there, and like Drew Deek said, I haven't given up on Barron yet. So here we go. We'll see what Barron can do.
So I guess is Strubel in the box then? Is he up?
Yeah, he's got a wellness day. He got kind of injured last game.
Right. So we've got 12 forwards playing tonight.
Well, we got
14.
We got 3 on each line, 4 lines. That's 12, and then we got Kapanen and Pizzetta sitting.
Right.
That's 14, and we got 7 defensemen. That's 21, and 2 goalies is 23.
23. But on the bench tonight are 12 and 6. No.
Yeah, 12 and 6.
18 players.
Yeah.
And 2 goalies.
2 goalies.
20 players on the bench.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Kapanen and them aren't going to be. They're going to be sitting it out. And Montembeault gets to start with Primo on the bench too. So,
and that makes sense.
Yeah, well, you got to give Montembeault the start. They'd have anointed him as number 1 so far. So I have no problem giving Sammy the start, and I just hope he comes up with a. I don't care if he has an all-star game. Just come up with a decent game.
You know what? I'm expecting a great game from everybody tonight. It's the first game of the season.
They're going to be pumped up.
You're in Montreal.
You're at home.
You just spent like 4 or 5 days playing golf up in Morin Heights.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Let's go for it.
So that's our lineup. Like I say, I'm not too upset about it. I think it's a good lineup to ice. We're going to be playing the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It's what we have. It's what we have. And like I say, I'm extremely pleased with the strategic way that Ken Hughes and MSL are going about development of the prospects and the rookies.
Yeah, and don't worry about that second line. Armia's there for now, but if he doesn't work, you're going to put somebody else in. They're going to play with that for the next 20 games. Speaking of the next 20 games, I've got them here, and we're going to kind of go through them, but we want to go through the first three here. And just
Absolutely.
And just say what we think is going to happen in the next three. We have the Leafs tonight, Boston tomorrow, and Ottawa on Saturday. So the Leafs.
So the Leafs, I guess.
Think we're going to beat them tonight?
Well, I always think we're going to beat the Leafs. always think we're going to beat the Leafs. So, of course, I'm taking the Canadians over the Leafs.
Okay, you're taking the Canadians. I just haven't seen enough so far this year to be able to take the Canadians over the Leafs. I don't see us any better than last year. And if you say we had a good season last year, well then, oh yeah, maybe we'll beat the Leafs. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be any kind of a blowout, but it's going to take a lot of ifs to win this game tonight on opening night at home.
Is it going to go in overtime?
It possibly could. We do that a lot with the Leafs.
Will it go into a shootout?
It could go into a shootout. If it goes into a shootout, we may have an advantage because I don't know about the Toronto goalie. Who's going to play tonight? Wall? Who's playing? I can't even name the goalie.
I have no clue who the goalie is.
Me neither. So
Johnny Bauer.
Maybe the Zamboni driver there.
Don Simmons.
But I got to say the Leafs in a close one. I'm going to take the Leafs. I just don't see it from the Habs being that much better than last year. That they're going to take on Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, and the rest of this crew. I think the Leafs are just too strong.
Well, we shall see.
And I'm going to say to the Montreal Canadiens and the fans, prove me wrong.
Isn't there a guy named Pacioretty playing tonight?
Oh, Pacioretty, yeah. Yeah, he'll get 3 goals against the Habs. Probably.
Isn't there a guy named Pacioretty playing tonight?
Yeah, he's playing tonight.
I think the Montreal team is really going to be up for this game.
I hope so.
I mean, first of all, we got beat by the Leafs in exhibition. Not that it means anything, but we did get beat by them.
Yeah,
and
twice.
And I don't think the Habs are happy about that.
No, I don't think so neither. And I want the Habs to win.
I do too.
But I just don't see it.
It's are we ready to win? That's the key.
I think we are there by the G's, but whether we do or not is another story. Okay. Boston, I'm going to take the Habs in this one.
Who's the goaltender for Boston now?
Well, Swayman they signed finally.
They did sign him.
They did sign Swayman for $8.25 million a year, 8 years, $66 million. He didn't play last night because the friggin' guy hasn't played anything, so they didn't want to put him in last night. They put Korpisalo in, but I think he'll be playing tonight. But from what I saw last night, Boston stinks. We should be able to beat Boston. I think our lineup can beat Boston, but I think we got to put Pizzetta in there. And we got to have a little bit tougher players.
Are we going to switch goalies?
Usually back-to-back we do.
So I think we will.
Yeah, it could be Primo in net.
I think
that's a Habs win. I'm going to take the Habs win on that one.
Well, I will as well.
And John's going to take the Habs win. And
then Saturday night in Montreal.
It's going to be a slobber knocker tomorrow night, by the way. Another slobber knocker for the Habs. We're playing back-to-back, so that's a factor too.
Absolutely, right? But we've had 5 days off.
Yeah, and then Boston isn't. It's the beginning of the season. We have lots of young studs with a lot of energy, right? They could make Xavier Hollander happy, these guys. So I think they got the energy to beat Boston.
Okay.
And nobody knows what I'm talking about. Look it up. Look it up if you want to know. Okay. John's laughing because he knows. Ottawa.
Ottawa's always a pain in our...
Oh, they're a pain in our butt.
Debut.
But I have to believe that Montreal can take Ottawa. I think Montreal's a better team than Ottawa, and I think they're going to take them when they play them. Even though we lost in preseason, I don't care about that with Ottawa. I just don't think they're that good. better than Montreal.
Ottawa's a tough team.
They're a tough team, but I think we can beat Ottawa. What do you think, John?
I think we can as well. I think the Toronto-Montreal game are going to go to overtime. And I think and it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So I'm really seeing Monty in the first game, Primo in the second game. Let's say, as you say, Monty loses the first game and Primo wins the second game. Who's going to play net?
Who would I play?
Who? Yeah.
Wow, I'd play Primo back.
Okay, so I'll agree with that. But I think MSL is probably going to go, because it's the first 10 games, he's going to go AB, AB, AB.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. That's what
right.
I
kind of think.
So you think Ottawa's going to win, or do you think we're going to?
No, I think we're going to beat Ottawa.
Okay,
but I think they're both the Ottawa game and Toronto game are going to go into
OT.
Overtime.
Okay, I've got that marked down because next week we'll talk about what happened here.
Perfect.
Now, just to run through really quickly the other games, just to get an idea what our first 20 games is going to look like. Pittsburgh, I think we're going to beat them.
When do we play Pittsburgh?
I don't know, Saturday, probably Monday or something.
Well, I mean,
Saturday or Tuesday.
Well, we play Ottawa on Saturday, right?
Yep. So usually it's every couple of days, but I know there's not a game next Wednesday. So I wouldn't say Monday, Wednesday. I would say probably Tuesday, Thursday next week. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But I think we can win against Pittsburgh. At home. Pittsburgh's nothing this year, really.
So we play Pittsburgh Monday night at home.
There you go.
So I will take Montreal as well.
Yep, and I think Los Angeles we play next.
Yeah, we play LA on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
So we'll have that spread.
This guy with this piece of junk motorcycle.
We'll have. We'll come back next Wednesday, talk about those.
Yep.
4 games, I guess.
Yep.
And then discuss the future games, which will be LA on the Thursday, the Islanders on the Saturday,
and the Rangers
on the Tuesday.
Okay, well, let's just go through these 20 and give us what you think is going to happen, just so we can tally up our 20 game thing here.
Wow, we're going to go do 20 games, wins?
We're not going to go through all of them. We're just going to give a comment of who you think is going to win. Just do a little predicting here.
Again, I have no idea what LA is like right now. I haven't watched anything in the preseason.
They're okay. They're traveling. Nothing that we can't beat. I think we can beat LA.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. Islanders have a really strong team.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to take a loss against Islanders away in the island.
I will too.
I'm going to take a loss against the Rangers.
The Rangers, I'm going to take a win.
Okay, you're going to take a win. I'm going to take a loss against St. Louis.
And I will take a win because that's a Saturday night game.
Yeah, but I think I'll take a win against Philly. I don't think Philly's that great.
We play Philly on the Sunday. And I'll go with a win there too.
St. Louis, you think is going to be a win?
I do.
Okay, a win against Philly. Islanders, you figure a loss. Los Angeles, you don't know enough, but you're going to say they're at home, Montreal. So
right, I'll take a win.
Okay, Seattle.
Kraken, how are they doing?
Well, they're at home. I mean, we're going to go to Seattle to play.
No, we're playing in Montreal.
Oh, no, Montreal's at home. That's right.
Yeah.
Seattle beat Utah beat Seattle last night. I think Montreal could take Seattle. Personally, I would take Montreal in that one.
Okay.
Washington definitely take Montreal.
Okay.
You agree with that?
Sure.
Pittsburgh again. Back. We're going to play them again. I think we're going to beat them. Yeah.
Okay. So let's stop there now, just for the heck of it.
Okay. We're going to tally them up.
Yeah, we've got a lot of games that we look like we're winning.
Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins in the first 12 games. 4 and 8.
So you're 8 wins,
4 losses.
4 losses. Well, isn't that a team that would be going to the playoffs?
Yes, if they do it. If they do it, absolutely.
But think about that, because we think at the beginning of the season right now that we're going to be hard pressed again to make the playoffs.
Well, let's go through the other 8 of our first 20 because it could even up. Calgary loss, Devils loss, Leafs loss,
Holy
Sabres
moly.
loss,
Whoa.
Minnesota loss.
That's 5 losses in a row.
Columbus win, Oilers loss, and Vegas loss. And now let's tally them up.
So that's like 7 losses out of the next 8 games.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're 10-10. So we're 500. Where were we last year?
Maybe there.
500. Yeah. So that's the way I see it. Well, I don't know. I mean, some of these we might lose that I thought would win, and win that I thought would lose. Like, we played
I think one of the big factors this year with the Canadians is they can't have streaks. You can have winning streaks,
but you can't have these 3 or 4 game losing streaks.
You can't have losing streaks.
And I think that'll be a key for Marty St. Louis to not let these guys have these losing streaks.
Absolutely. What will MSL do to change that chemistry? Will he get a little aggressive?
I think he might get a little aggressive. He might change players for certain games to be able to manufacture a win.
Yep.
Certain players match up with teams better, maybe. The bigger teams, the harder teams, you might see Pizzetta and Struble and Jack Guy in rather than...
Will he bring up a full line out of Laval and stick them out on the ice?
I don't think so.
I'd love to see that.
I'd love to see it, but he probably won't in the first 20.
I don't know who Beck is going to play with in Laval. I don't know what the lineup's going to look like.
No, me neither.
Laval. We're going to have to look at that over the next week. And if you get a line with, say, Beck Waugh and somebody else, it could be like scary. And if that line starts to fly in Laval, then it would be very tempting to throw that line into the NHL together.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, they'd have to move a lot of people, though. That's the problem.
Well, but sometimes you got to do that.
And you never know. I mean, there could be trades and other stuff happening. Injuries could play a factor.
Injuries may play a factor, but
like Beck up.
But you're hoping that the team you picked works. Obviously.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. And at the same point, like we've said at the top of the show, this is really still part of the rebuild.
Yeah. And, going through that 5-game loss, I mean, Calgary, they're no powerhouse by any means. So Montreal may skate away with that game. They're playing Calgary at home. Calgary's got to come out. So you might want to give them a win there. The Devils are tough. Montreal's going to go to New Jersey. They give us a hard time. Then you got Leafs and once again, Sabres. They're wonky. I mean, they usually start off with a gangbang at the beginning of the season, and then it turns into a nightmare by Christmas. So you never know what the Sabres. They're much improved, though. And Minnesota's the same way, a big, tall, defensive team. We got to go into their house. That's a loss I'm putting in, but it could be a win. I mean, so we're just kind of looking out in the future and seeing where we are here. I'd be happy if in the first 10 games we play 500 hockey. I wouldn't really be too upset about that.
Oh, and here's some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Joseph Woll, who is the goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Woll, yeah.
Is out. And Anthony Stolarz will start for the Leafs.
Oh, boy, they're bringing him up from the Marlies now.
So that is the news.
Okay, well, that's good news.
Lower body tightness.
Oh,
I have that just about every night.
Exactly. Sometimes when I wake up, too.
Absolutely.
So, well, that's good for the Habs. I mean, if we can get a snappy goaltender and get a couple quick ones on him and he loses his place, yeah. And Woll's not that great anyway. I mean, it's not a big deal to replace him. I can't believe Murray's not around. Is Murray still on that team? Maybe they got rid of him, too.
I have no idea.
Okay, so there you go. That's kind of what we're looking at. I mean, I think 50-50 down the top first 20. I'll be happy with that. If they go even better, I'll be even happier. Happy, joy. And then we roll and see what happens. That'll take us into, the first 20 games is going to take us into December for sure, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, the 3 de la semaine dernière, John.
Gee, I mean, I got to give the first star to ABB.
All right.
Yeah, Alex Barry-Boulet for making the team.
Making the cut.
I am totally impressed by that.
There you go.
I mean, it's somebody that I had no expectations I would be even saying today on air on the premier day of the hockey season.
And I hope he lives up to your expectations.
I'm really looking forward to him. I got to give the second star then to Lane Hudson for making the team as well. And I'm really looking forward to him having a great career with Les Bleus Blancs et Rouges.
Okay.
Okay. And the third star, that's a good question. That's a very good question. The third star, I would give to. I have to give to
Claude Provo.
Maybe MSL only if he gets us out of 0 for 30 in the PP.
Yeah, there you go. So I would like to see that.
That's the deal. The deal is that third star is pending for you, MSL. You've got now's the time we got to get real serious about this power play. We know who's on this team. Now it's a matter of putting these the pieces together for the jigsaw and making it work.
Come and get it. Okay, my three stars. The fans waiting patiently to see what the hell we are icing this year.
They might be stars every game.
Yeah, they've been very, very patient with everything.
They might be stars for a few more weeks.
And the vibe I get from Facebook and all the other social media pages, the fans have been very patient with preseason, and they're still optimistic that this is going to be a good year for the Habs. So there you go. Number 2, I have Lane Hudson as well as you for bringing much needed excitement to the D and maybe some power play goals.
Yes.
And the third one I gave is to the calendar.
The calendar?
Yeah, for being October 9th in the start of the Habs NHL season. Calendar, you're the third star. The troisième étoile, the third star.
Well, that is important.
Anything else you got there, Johnny, before we take a powder here? Because it's 1 o'clock and we got to get out of here.
No, I think again, thanks for listening and for watching at home. Please like us. Please leave comments. Please subscribe. Follow us. And we're wishing you all a great NHL season.
That's right.
Let's enjoy this. Let's stay positive. Let's continue to support our team. All the best and good health to all the Montreal Canadian players this year. Wishing them all the best.
Go Habs, go.
Okay.
Subscribe.
Bonsoir, mes amis.
See you guys later. This is Paul Kellerman, and I am with my co-host,
Jean-Louis Filion. Enjoy tonight's match, the hockey.
Yeah, and we'll see you next Wednesday at noon talking about it all. And go Habs, go. Let's see what they can pull off this year. I'm so excited about the season starting, and we're going to be watching it without a doubt. And we may be very happy tomorrow morning when we wake up.
Yes. Let's do it.
Hey, ciao, ciao, everybody. Au revoir. Have a great day.